Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. This is the nature you see in Pennsylvania. Over here in Bushkill, Pennsylvania, the Poconos area, these deer act like I ain't even here. I'm just walking by and they don't care. Isn't that awesome? Kicked off the Tinker Day a few moments ago. We actually kicked it off trying to figure out why these trailer lights wasn't working. Tested them with a battery, still couldn't get them to work. Pulled the wire harness down here, and these wires are broken. That'll do it. He's going to work on that while I get to work on the car. When I left nearly 2 months ago, we had just finished the wire harness modification for the fuel pump. And we have the wire here that we got to pull up to the battery. Now, I'm going to go through the wire harness track along the footwell of the car, and then we're going to go through the firewall where this firewall pass-through is. Now, another thing we're going to do is wire in AFR gauge, boost gauge, stuff like that. So I'm going to grab the gauges, and we're going to try to pull everything through that pass-through at the same time. Where is that pass-through? And there it is right there. Everything's going to come through there. Let me get cracking. We got the quaif installed. We got the halves together. We got new axle input shaft seals. We are ready to rock and roll. So we're going to clean up the mating surface of this. And then we're going to finish a couple mods on the car. We got a coolant line to install, some gauges to install, some wiring to do, and then we can keep on pressing on this thing. I wired wheel this mating surface so it could have good ground contact to the engine. I'm going to wipe that down. I wired wheel a little bit of that dirt in there. I'm going to spray that with some brake parts cleaner, dump it out on those absorbent pads over there. And this thing will be ready to mount. It's got the clip in there. We should be good to go. It's an external slave transmission, I think out of a 95, because it has the speed sensor back there. Somewhere along this journey, we dropped or scraped this transmission with something, because man, that casing's got a nice little gouge in it. All the way down to here. So something hit across there. Not sure what it is, but that didn't appear to be cracked, so we're moving forward. And you can see a little bit of the sealant oozed out of my transmission bolt together mount, but beautiful, beautiful bead around there. Good to see. They say it takes 24 hours for that to cure, but I don't think we're going to be filling it up. Maybe not that soon, so we'll see. Here's this hose that was piecemealed together in that damaged pipe there. I guess the coolant would flow okay through there, and it didn't appear to be leaking, but it just looks so makeshift. I wanted to make it right, so I got the right pipe and the right hose for it, and we're gonna go ahead and put this on the back of the turbo, get that out of the way. Took the downpipe off because there's no bung in it for the wideband, but you can see where it's clamped together. There's definitely an exhaust leak between, heck, 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So that thing had a nice exhaust leak. Has a really flimsy clamp on there. I sure like to get a better clamp for that. I don't think I have one with me. He had this thing bolted on with these heat shield bolts. That's how many threads is holding the exhaust on the downpipe. I guess that's enough. But usually you'll have that many threads sticking out of the bolt coming this way. You have a nut on there with, you know, 3 or 4 threads sticking out the back. But he don't have any studs coming out of the exhaust flange, which is kind of strange. And I hope these bolts, yeah, they're 10 point something bolts, which should be able to take the heat from this exhaust. They're heat shield bolts, so hopefully, I don't know about this one. This is a odd bolt. I'll take a look at it. These two I'm pretty sure out of a heat shield, 12 millimeter bolts, and this one's a 14 millimeter head from somewhere. So maybe I'll find some proper studs for this and hook this up properly. But I'm gonna take this to an exhaust shop and have a bung welded on it in the morning. That'll be my first stop. So that's where that exhaust was leaking from. And this is the O2 sensor with a little bit of a pitch angle on it. So I'm gonna have the bung welded in probably right here to make sure it has an angle on it as well. So when I screw it in, it won't be tilted down like mine was on Panther when I got it installed. They say you want to be 18 inches at least from the exhaust flange, and that's 8, that's 16. So this O2 sensor is probably perfect, so you want to be a little bit behind it. So let me go ahead and take this with me. I'm gonna leave the O2 sensor in there. They shouldn't damage that, putting this bung in, and then I can have the wideband in there. You could actually replace this O2 sensor with a wideband. A wideband is probably 5 to 10 times faster than the O2 sensor, and you could get the O2 sensor tuned out and use the wideband as the O2 sensor. Then you don't have to get another bung put in, but we're going to put both in and do it that way. I think that's all I got for now. I need wiring, and I need this done before I really move any further. I finally realized why he butchered up that coolant pipe. If you look on the back of that turbo, it has 2 places to hook a coolant line up to. It's got a plug in the top and a hole in the bottom. You should move that plug down to the bottom and put that line in there. However, since that plug in the top is not flush, it's hard to do that, because if you put the line in the top, the line will hit the plug under it. So you really need a inset plug to screw into that turbo so that you could put the line in the proper hole. So that line is probably going to hit that bracket for the engine mount bracket, and I got to figure that out. Now I would probably heat the pipe and bend it versus smashing it like he did. So let me figure that out and go from there. That's the kind of issues you have when you go with aftermarket parts. Like that's an aftermarket turbo, and the coolant plug is not in the right place, and if you move it, your line is hitting it, the plug, so it doesn't really work. So let me figure something out there. Part of the thing you have to deal with when you're making mods is that you're using hose and stuff like that that can take the heat, and not just using any hose that you could find. So this is probably an original hose that was cut shorter, but that's a patch hose because it cut that line to take an inch out of it. I am done for today. I'm going to pick back up where I left off tomorrow. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.